And in just a few moments, we'll have live monster truck action from Peoria, Illinois. I'll tell you, any kid that's watching tonight that has ever dreamed about driving one of these multi-ton monsters, let me introduce you to a man that has had that same dream. His name is Dan Runte, and he's the man behind the wheel of the truck that the whole world knows as Bigfoot. The monster truck driver, aggressive and daring, or just crazy. Dan Runte, the most aggressive, daring, and crazy of them all, has dominated all other drivers, standing atop of the sport since 1993. The 32-year-old native of Freeport, Illinois, handles the controls of Bigfoot 14 and is the latest in a long line of dominating drivers in the Bigfoot fleet.
As far as driving Bigfoot, it's one of the greatest trucks out. We all know that. I mean, the guys that work there, I wouldn't want to work on any other monster truck just because I know myself that it's the greatest team to work for.
Dan drove his Bigfoot 14 to back-to-back Pen-to-Point Series titles in 95 and 96, setting a record with 8 victories in both campaigns, and is also the winningest driver since the 93 season with 24 victories. But the road to that success was a long one. Dan had to pay his dues within the Bigfoot organization under Bob Chandler's tutelage.
As far as when Bob, actually let me drive or, decided that I was going to drive, it was neat, and I felt really great about it. Shortly after that, I did a tour with United Sports of America in Australia for 3 months. So as far as practice and learning, I couldn't ask for a better trip.
I picked Dan because first place, he's number one in the Pen-to-Point Series. He's the winningest driver in their series. He's won the last 2 years in a row. He's young. He's a very experienced driver because just watching him, he gets himself out of situations where another driver might have wrecked or roll over.
We get along pretty good. We're good friends. We're both farm boys. So, but when it comes to racing, we're very competitive, and we don't show any mercy with each other, but he's got a good team behind him. He's got the best that money can buy.
The decision to add Runte to the Bigfoot family has proven to be beneficial for both Dan and the Bigfoot team. The MTRA's Driver of the Year in 93 and 95 has enjoyed the success, but is determined and focused to keep the Bigfoot dynasty alive and kicking.
The truck's known number one. I mean, we try to keep it number one, and I couldn't ask for better.
Boy, the only thing I can relate that to would be like driving for Richard Petty after he retired. For Bob Chandler.
Be the way to go, no doubt about it. But hang on to your steering wheel, folks, because we got the action coming up. The monster trucks invade Motor Madness next. Welcome back. It's Motor Madness on TNN. Friday nights, we're here with you, bringing all kinds of action from all across the country. It's Katie Haas and Randy Pemberton, and now we're going to go out to Peoria.
Oh, yeah. Well, wake the kids, call the neighbors, because the monster trucks are coming up. Ralph Shaheen, Mike Galloway, we're looking forward to it.
Oh, we are too, Randy. The Peoria Civic Center is where we are. It's 44 below outside, but ready to get pretty warm inside here, Mike. We brought you monster trucks for the first time live on national television last week from Des Moines, and it was a thrilling show.
Car before the finish line, and let's take a look.
Looks like Equalizer was... Whoa! We got a big problem for the Executioner.
The Executioner, and that is something that is just unbelievable. I've never seen this kind of thing happen.
Well, that was a big problem for Executioner last week, and I think we got a big problem for the rest of the competition here tonight, Mike.
Called Bigfoot, maybe?
Yeah.
Blue Ford truck, when you kick that out of the trailer, you got competition. He's not by himself tonight. We've got 4 great trucks. New truck we haven't seen, well, a Virginia giant, Diehl Wilson out of Winchester, Virginia. Diehl's going to be good. He's a strong running Ford. All in all, Ralph, probably one of the best classes we've had.
TNN Motorsports fans last week, for the first time ever, saw Pro Arena trucks. Now, this was a class we didn't really know what we were going to get, but we had a lot of fun once we got them out on the track. just a wild show with the smaller trucks, and we expect nothing but the same here tonight. Now, Rory Fisher almost put it to the big dogs last week. Can he do it here tonight?
You gotta love it. It's a 4-cylinder stock Toyota, flatbed on it. This truck is great. He says it's stock. Well, I don't know. It runs real well. I think this track will be favoring him quite a bit because it's a small track. It's liable to rut up towards the end. It's still wet from being outside and being cold. If that happens, they're going to have to watch themselves. They have a tendency to stop over on their side.
Well, Fred Barnson's going to be roaming the pit area for us. Have you caught up to Roy, Fred?
I got him right here, Ralph. This guy's got the fire in the belly. Roy, last night you're 0.2 of a second away from taking second place. What are you going to do this week to run faster?
Well, I added a coat of wax to the truck, and I think I'm going to try to hit third gear.
Right.
That way, maybe make the first place.
Now, what's your strategy tonight to really make an impact?
It's a pretty long course. These guys with the V8, you know, they give me a hard race, so I'm definitely going to have to shift. That's all there is to it.
You're a wacky, wild guy with the fire in the belly. Back to you, Ralph.
Well, Fred, when it comes to pro arena truck racing, you don't need a wind tunnel. All you need is a really good, slick wax to go racing and maybe pick up a win. We're coming back to Peoria Civic Center right after this. We're going to kick things off with the Monster Trucks, Pro Arena Trucks, and Arenacross right after this. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center here in Peoria, Illinois. There you get a good look at the Virginia Giant sitting on the other side of the cars as we get set to go racing here with the Monster Truck Challenge as we work our way towards what we call the King of the Hill. Now here's how we score the King of the Hill. 60 points for first, and then it progressively goes back down from that all the way down to fourth since we have 4 trucks with us here tonight. But they'll score points in 2 different events tonight, Mike.
They're going to score points in the obstacle course. We'll take those points from the obstacle course, and then after the drag racing has completed, we'll take the points from the drag racing, and it is the same setup that you see here. Add those together and be King of the Hill. Now, theoretically, a man could have some problems in the obstacle course. Win the drag racing, be King of the Hill. You don't have to win both of them, but it sure would help.
And this is important because it sets you up for a bye when we get to the final event of the year, which is at Indianapolis, the big event, the Super Bowl for these guys. The only guy who's qualified for the bye so far is Dragon Slayer from last week in Des Moines.
And he's not here tonight, but we've got a lot of good trucks. Take a look at the course route. This is a little bit different. You leave together. Each one of them is going opposite directions. They go over the first set of cars in a chase situation. Then you go around a big pole on the end of it. The other set of cars, you'll actually leave on this set of cars. For instance, Samson will leave on this set of cars, and when he finishes, it will be on the same set of cars. He'll go around the arena, and that's why they call it the obstacle course. We got a lot of obstacles tonight.
Absolutely. This will be the first form of competition. It is not anything but single elimination. You either win and move on, or you lose and you go to the loser's bracket. We will have a consolation race in the loser's bracket in this division, of course, because we'll have to see who gets third. Third
and fourth, and those points will be very important. You know, third place is super good. There's Diehl Wilson out of Winchester, Virginia. Runs a body shop in Winchester, Virginia. This guy started out in truck pulling. Had the Virginia Giant in truck pulling. Later on converted over, went to monster trucks, and has been very successful. The motor in this truck is built by one of the most famous AA gas people in America, Ohio George Montgomery. I mean, he's just a legend in drag racing.
Absolutely. And of course, the other truck building up to legendary status, the first of the 3D trucks, Samson.
I like Dan Patrick's truck. It handles extremely well. Big, bad, blown Hemi in the back of it. Dan has got a lot of technology in the truck, and he really, really tweaks the truck well. Changed the fuel pump on it, put a fresh fuel pump on it from last week. He was disappointed he didn't win last week. He told me later on that he ran the truck after the fuel pump changed. This truck hooked. He said, Mike, 2 passes. I was on the concrete with this truck leaving the starting line. So he's building just buku of horsepower, a lot of horsepower tonight in Samson.
Well, I think the thing that is interesting is the fact that Ohio George Montgomery is as well known to motors, and of course Dan Patrick is that well known when it comes to chassis for these monster trucks. You know, if you like what you're seeing here on TNN tonight, you've got to see the USA Motorsports Show in person. Now, 2 weeks from now, those of you in Portland, Oregon and Denver, Colorado will get a chance to do just that. January 31st through February 2nd, the Monster Truck Challenge will be at the Portland Rose Garden and the Denver Coliseum. Make sure you come on out and catch USA Motorsports live and in person. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Well, we are just moments away from getting underway with our first race of the night. What do you like in this one?
Oh, don't put me on the bubble like that, but no doubt about it, I think I'm going to have to go to the Samson truck. Ran this course last week, changed the motor just a little bit, did a couple of burnouts a while ago, just checking the track and kind of getting the cars prepped, and it showed a lot of horsepower right off the line.
The other thing about this, if you're watching monster truck racing for the first time, this is a pretty busy cockpit as you get a look at it right there. The drivers not only steer from the front, but from the back. And
this is a two-handed situation. Most of the drivers steer with the right hand, and then over on the left side of the truck, and this is just some of the drivers, left side, whichever makes them comfortable, there's a toggle switch. Lean it forward, the tires will turn to the back, right in the back. Lean it the other way, they'll turn to the left. It is a situation where you're steering the front and the back of it. And if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to get around these curves that we've got here tonight, the very tight courses that we have. That's Diehl Wilson with his big Ohio George Montgomery Ford motor. Diehl is, as you mentioned, in the paint and body business. That's why you're going to see a truck as pretty as his. It is beautiful. Well, that is the sound that we've been waiting on, Ralph. It's horsepower time.
Those big alcohol motors starting to come to life as we get set to go with the first round of obstacle course racing. We've got 2 Fords and 2 Chevys. The Virginia Giant, of course, one of the big Ford F-250s, the 1995 edition. Diehl Wilson's machine. And then Dan Patrick out there with the big Samson Chevy.
Well, the Patrick is ready to go.
They both came out and packed down a little bit in the first car. Both rolled up a couple of times to get the launching pad set to go.
Well, you said it right, Ralph. The launching pad it is. They'll be airborne off the first car. They will clear all 5 cars, and then they need to land the tires out. Diehl Wilson leads just a little bit. Samson out in front. Samson's got about half the truck on him. Diehl's having the problem. The truck just not running the way it should. Picking up the left front tire.
He's got all kinds of problems for Diehl Wilson and the big Virginia Giant, and it looks like Samson is going to easily move on now to round number 2 and a shot at the win here in the obstacle course, and it's very important 60 points.
Dan Patrick would love to win this. It would take part of the pressure of it. Here's Samson. He turns, great turns, a little bit of horsepower, a lot of air. I think at that time he sees that Diehl's in trouble. Diehl is down at the other end of the track. I think Dan sees he's in trouble. He backs out and just lands real easy.
So the big biceps will move on to the final round of the obstacle course. And who will he match up against? Now there you see it, that big blue Ford, Bigfoot. It is known throughout the world. It is the thing that got monster trucks going and really brought them to the forefront. This truck is as well known around the world as just about any race car on the planet.
Okay, Ralph, I drove Bigfoot 4.
Not very well, I'm sure.
Well, I thought that I flew over the car. I didn't, but I did get over the car.
Well, I guarantee you it's going to fly here tonight.
It will fly here tonight. They got great driver. Dan Runte sits in the seat on this truck, and Gary Saline is here. He's the horsepower builder for this truck. There's a truck out of Springfield, Tennessee. It's all Chevrolet front to back. This young man, privateer, but really does a great job with it. He's tough. He really is tough.
There's a good look at the Equalizer. The stats on this big truck, 540 cubic inches, pumping out 1,400 horsepower, living on alcohol.
Takes just a little bit longer to warm an alcohol motor up. You want to run them just a little bit warm. A gas motor, you run cool, it builds more horsepower. Got to get these motors warm. It's cold outside. They've been inside for a while, but it still takes some time to warm them up. Out in front. Now let's see what happens. This is really close at this time. Very, very close. Now the turn. I believe Equalizer's in the lead.
Can you believe that?
Rattle the rafters. I think we have had an upset.
That is huge. Equalizer has put it to Bigfoot. And I guarantee you Dan Patrick got a big sigh of relief out of that.
Oh, no doubt about that. But here's the thing about it. They're going to be down tweaking it. They got to go again in just a few minutes. They definitely want to run third. They're going to have to come back and run the Virginia Giant.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, he got around the first corner good.
But he missed as far as the cars. The truck goes over the cars. See how it lands with the side of it down. I think that hurt him. Then it comes off. It bounces a little bit. He can't get around the cars the way he would like to. Here's the finish. White pole in the middle. And what is that? Truck link he beat him?
He got smoked, to put it blankly.
What a great finish.
Wow. So Bigfoot will go on to the Concy round of the obstacle course. Arenacross getting set to come out. The motorcycles making their way out onto the arena floor. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center, where we just got through watching a huge upset in our monster trucks. Fred Bartson?
Yes, that is a big upset, and I got the driver of the Equalizer right here, Dave Morris. Dave, big upset.
Yeah, you know, we're not really sure what to do in here. The dirt's kind of sticky, and you don't know if it's going to hook the truck, cause it to turn over, if it's going to slide. So as the night goes on, we'll know more about the track, so maybe we can get better and better.
Yeah, and pull up another big upset maybe in the drag race. Back to you, Ralph.
Well, the worst he can do out of this, Mike, is now 50 points coming out of the obstacle course, which is great for Equalizer.
David Morris, that would be a great shot in the arm. 50 points, and then he just needs to run well in the drag racing. Not necessarily win it. He needs to be up at the top, but he needs to run well in the drag racing.
Well, what you're looking at right there are the competitors in our Arenacross race. It'll be 5 laps. 5 riders were transferred onto the main event. Here's a look at the lineup for heat number 1. Bill Akers on the 10. Nick Spirowski on the 15. Aaron Wemple. As you take a look through the rest of the field, the 180 of Brett Matson. Peter Curran and Michael Kessler in there. Now, keep your eyes on 722 Curran. He's on a 125 Suzuki. He's one of the local strong boys. And Nick Spirowski out of Farmington, Illinois, on a 125 Honda, another one of the big dogs in the region. The first one out of the gate is Spirowski on that red Honda, the number 15 out of Farmington, Illinois. It's a 125. And normally what you'll see is 125s in one class, 250s in another, but not here tonight. As you take a look, the 180 working his way through the field. That's Brett Nelson.
You know, Ralph, on this kind of a track, I don't think a 250 has much of an advantage over the 125 because 125 works better in the corners, 250 works better down the straightaway.
Well, that's exactly what we got up front. We got a pair of 125s running 1 and 2 right now. The 27, the Suzuki of Aaron Wemple out of Nokomis, Illinois. Now, 5 riders are going to transfer. The 722 right now has a transfer spot. That's our buddy Peter Curran that we were telling you about on that other 125. The 180 of Malton is the first. Oh, and we got one down. Throwing it away is Curran. Or make that...
I can't see that number from this point. The bike's laying over on its side.
Yeah, it's the 722. It is Peter Curran, the 125 Suzuki that was running in third. So he threw it away. Now that will bring out a standing yellow in that corner, which means the race continues. We don't stop as long as the rider is okay and out of the way of the traffic. So the racing continues with 5 laps. This one will go quickly.
If you're going to make a move, Ralph, you need to make it real quick. White flag is out. There's only one lap left to go.
Well, it looks like the 27 of Wemple has gotten around Spirowski. So he's going to take the win as they come to the final pair of jumps. Wemple gets the win. Spirowski will take second. And we'll have to update you on exactly 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Looks like the 234 is going to go. That's Michael Kessler.
I believe Bill Akers was number 10. I think he was on the bubble spot.
And here's a look at the crash, and you can see he's already off the bike at that point.
Bike nosed over, and I think maybe the front brake, he hit the front brake, and when it did, it just locked it. He did a couple of endos before that thing come to a rest.
Here's a look at the run to the finish. You see the 180 of Malson coming through.
Guaranteed a spot in the feature, the first 5. And here's the man.
Right there's your winner, the 27, Aaron Wemple in Nokomis, Illinois, in that 125 Suzuki. So 5 riders already set up for the main event in our Arenacross portion of the night, heat number 2, including Fred, the Bearhead, ready to go. The registration stand with the registration And we are back to USA Motorsports Monster Truck Challenge here at the Peoria Civic Center. Let's give you a quick rundown of the 5 guys that did transfer. Nick Sporosky on the 15, Aaron Wemple on the 27, Mitch Stortzum on bike 69, Bob Gardner on the 130, and Brett Malson on the 180, all transferred. As you take a look at the grid sheet for heat number 2. Now, they're all set to go. And the guy you got to love in this deal is Fred Schuper. He's the guy wearing the bear helmet.
Oh, that would be your favorite.
Absolutely, bike 84.
Being a non-traditionalist.
He got a horrible start, though, did the bear. And up front is the 746, Jeff Hill out of DeKalb, Illinois, on a Kawasaki at 250 out front. I think the key to this whole thing for him, though, Mike, was a good start, as he's got a good lead on Chris Schmalbach on bike 573, the Suzuki.
Well, Ralph, with a big start, and he's shooting the doubles. Oh, there may be the problem. They're trying to shoot the doubles, and if they can do that, he's going to stretch his lead immensely. No one around him. Only time he can get in trouble is if he comes up and starts into the lap traffic.
This one being dominated by the bigger bikes, as we got one rider down. 706 taking a dive. That's Joey Mackey, who's a real good rider out of Galesburg, Illinois on a Suzuki. But it's all 250s up front of this one. I think it's just that they got a better start this time.
The number 500 bike is on the bubble. He is the number 5 bike, and the 5 bikes transfer into the feature.
Bill Vansel on bike 21. The Honda sits back in 3rd. He's got a transfer. That's with Brandon Parks right now on the Yamaha. That's the blue and white bike, and that's a great battle going on there. The 500 getting in the middle of that one as well. Joe Boucher right here in Peoria. The Kawasaki, the big green machine out front right now, holding off the other 250 Suzuki in the field. They're going to try to lap Fred. Gotta love the bear helmet, Fred. Oh, that's 40 years old, running in the back of the pack, but he's got one of the best helmets I've ever seen. And we got a big problem over the double jump. One rider down hard. There you see him crawling off. That's Bill Vansel, who had a transfer spot. Oh, Fred got hit in the head by the flag.
Oh, no.
Fred the Bear got tagged by the flagman. The checkered flag falls for bike 746. Jeff Hill out of DeKalb, Illinois. The Kawasaki picking up the win. Being the good sportsman that he is, Fred the Bear stopping to check on his fellow rider.
I think the problem with that route, they're trying to do the doubles over there, and a lot of times they don't make it. They nose into the inside of the jump, and when that does, that flips them over the handlebars, and thusly you end up with a situation like we've got out here on the track right now.
That's bike 21, Bill Vansel. His Honda 250 had him big problems. Here's a look at it. Oh, yeah, he ended right into it. Oh, and that's where he twisted his knee. You can see where it hit the ground. He twisted his knee, and that's why he didn't get up and walk away from that one real quickly.
That wasn't bad enough to come back and hit him on the head.
Let's see if we can give you a rundown of who did transfer out of this. The 746 of Jeff Hill, the 573 of Chris Schmalbach, the 66 of Brandon Parks, the 500 of Joe Burshirk, and the 706 of Joey Mackey. All transferred out of this one as Bill Vansel limps off the racetrack. So, 2 rounds of the Arenacross completed. As you get another look at the top 5, we will transfer on to our main event of Arenacross racing when we come back to Peoria. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center here in Peoria, Illinois. You know, if you've ever dreamed about being a pro arena truck driver like my buddy Mike Galloway has, you might want to check out this next feature piece.
Well, here we are in the backyard of local favorite Mike Rosenthal from the Pro Arena Truck Series. He's got a couple of his prized possessions back here, not only the dog, but these Ford Broncos. Mike, tell us about all the Broncos you got out here.
Well, I got a 78 over here that I just bought. Don't know what I'll do with it. Got a 77 over here behind me that my sponsor, Dan Runte, Auto and Truck Sales, found for me for parts for my race truck. Yeah, this Bronco right here is just a parts Bronco for me. Parked it in here, put it on jack stands. Anything I need off of it, I can put on the race truck. Rear leaf springs, we broke a couple the first time out. I needed some springs. I took them out of this one, used it on the race truck, the one you'll be seeing tonight now.
What do you like most about the Pro Arena Series?
Just everything. The people we work with are great. It's cheap to do. It's fun. You get a lot of time in the seat driving. Pro Arena trucks, you can start out inexpensive, have a good time, be competitive. You can spend some money, You can be competitive cheap, and you can be more competitive if you spend a little more money, a little more time on them.
Now that's a shock.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got the old refrigerator in there with the door off, but you're using the shelf space to put extra transmission parts in there and stuff.
Big snap-on box, got all your tools inside of it.
Now that's a place where a winner comes out of. You know, I mean, really, what you find out of that piece is all you need to go pro arena truck racing is a good truck to start with and a couple of parts trucks.
Oh.
First one out, Randall Harlan, number 21. This guy had some problems last week, didn't he?
This guy actually did very, very well with this truck last week. This truck really has performed great, and he's the first guy around. And I think the first driver really has a more difficult time of it than anyone else because everyone else can sit back, watch the other drivers run. You want to be down the road just a little bit. He had some problems coming out of that turn. Looks like he lost a little very precious time. He will be the man that sets the pace tonight in the racing. And let's see what we're going to be shooting at tonight, somewhere around the 29.69 zone.
29.69, the time to shoot for right now. Now remember, they will get 2 shots at the course, and it's the best pass of the 2 runs.
Well, we bring the top 15 back. Well, the top fast 15 are the ones that get back into the arena for the second round.
Here's Mike Rosenthal, the gentleman you just saw in the feature piece, set to go. This is not the parts Bronco. This is the one he goes racing with. And we got an in-car camera with Mike. Truck named as Cheaper Than a Wipe. 1975 Ford Bronco with a 302 stuffed in the belt.
Now think about it. We just showed a feature where he is at his home. He's in his hometown. He's got the camera on board. He's on national TV. Is the pressure tough at this time?
He has definitely got the adrenaline pumping. You can be sure of that. The green flag waves, and we're underway with Mike Rosenthal.
Swings a little bit wide. There's a good shot from inside the camera. Drives by the Virginia Giant. Lines it up for this first jump. Let's see how that works for him. Everything's going good. Now he's going to have to set up for this little short jump that he's got. Makes that in great style. Now the second jump. Over the big one. Now he's got to land it back on course. Now you got to get ready to swing hard. Real tight turn so you can make that straightaway. Big long jump coming up for the finish line.
And he doesn't break the 29-second barrier. And that is not going to hurt Mike. That's not going to help him at all. I mean, that is not what he was looking for, Mike. I mean, he was definitely expecting to come in here and be one of, not the top 15, I think, one of the top 5 going into the second round.
Well, you've got to think that he was in the top 5. He knew in his mind that, and this truck performs well enough to be a top 5 truck, but Ralphie's only ran 2. It may be a top 5 truck before the night's over with.
I wonder if he came out here a little too excited and maybe made a couple of errors he didn't expect to make. Here comes the next truck. This is Rick Armbrust, number 29.
Green Valley, Illinois. This is a good running 1981 Ford Bronco 302. He's got some ump in this truck. It works well. Now the first set of jumps, turns hard, double jumps. We don't have whoops like we had last week because of the motorcycle, but we've got what I think is a very trying course. These guys are really hammering it well. 19 seconds, and he's about halfway down. He did that first one beautifully. Now hard swing to the left. We may have a new leader. He's going to run for it. Got to go under that 29 mark, and
he got it. 29.46. Now the time to beat. 29.46 set by Armbrust. Oh, that was a strong run. Now that is a truck that last week in Des Moines had some problems with the motor. Remember, he had the plug wire fall off, and I think it was, and just got part way out onto the course, and the engine died on him. So they re-changed the motor around and got himself back out here ready to go racing this week. And
this is a great finish. He swings the truck. Now, the trucks won't fishtail. You can't bring them around under power because there's so much bite here. But he's really run strong at the finish line. This truck handles extremely well.
Next one up is Mike Nelson from right here in the area. Mike is set to go racing. Actually, all right, they're gonna take Mike out of here.
I think that's
Dewey Rowe.
Dewey Rowe came out, got in a little bit of a hurry.
Yeah, here's our guy. Well, now this is the back of Dewey's truck, and Dewey put the name of all of his nieces and nephews on the back of his truck. Pretty good uncle.
Yeah, that's what you should do, Uncle. I like this truck. Fuel injected. This truck is brand new this year. He has had problems with it trying to, as any new racetrack, work out some of the minor bugs in it. It's a fuel injected. It's got a 9-inch Ford rear end. It's got a Ranger front end. It's got the beautiful sheet metal off of the new Blazer. Doing well, and he's done well from almost every time we've seen him run, but somewhere along the way, he has some little niche come up and bite him. Right now, he's still on a good pace.
I keep thinking when every time we see this truck that one of these days he's just going to break out and destroy everybody.
And the truck has that kind of capability. It's got the power. It's got everything it's going to need. He just needs to find the one little niche that'll put him in the winner's circle.
It's an exciting truck to watch because he always gets it flying or does something wild with it, but just not right there yet.
Boy, keeps the truck immaculate, too.
Sure does. Still think, though, once he gets it straightened out, look out. That number 14 of Mike Nelson is going to be a winner.
Now we can get to it.
Right. Now we can try truck number 34. Dewey Rowe. Set to go, and truck number 14. Now, his girlfriend couldn't be here with him tonight. She had to go to California, so what he did was he painted her name on the roof.
Well, that ought to make her happy.
Should.
You got to know she's watching in California. 144 or 109.
Oh, don't hit the Virginia Giant.
Oops. Didn't turn quite as sharp as he thought it would.
No, it sure didn't.
Oh, and that's the first part of the course. This
and he went over a cone there, too. That's going to cost him another 5 seconds.
5 seconds more.
And it died on him. His girlfriend, Carrie, who's got her name on the roof, is probably telling all of her friends sitting there watching with her in California, hey, my boyfriend.
No, my name's Carrie, not that Carrie.
Not that Carrie. Exactly right.
Well, and he could put all those names on it because it's sponsored by United Signs out of East Peoria, Illinois.
Poor Dewey Rowe. He was really looking forward to going out and having a good time, so he just bought this truck off of a friend of his, an old 1976 Ford Courier. The little Courier struggling here tonight. And the Virginia Giant's going to move. They just fired up the Virginia Giant. He's going to move it.
I can't blame him. Watch this replay route. Got this thing turned lock to lock as hard as he can. Straightens it out a little bit. And uh-oh, are we in trouble? Yes.
Oh, tell me his heart wasn't in his throat then. So, little Dewey Rowe almost took out the big Virginia Giant. That would have been fun. Stay with us. We got plenty more to go. Some of the crowd here in Peoria, Illinois, enjoying the Monster Truck Challenge, brought to you by USA Motorsports. And we're in the middle of our Pro Arena Truck competition with the lights on as a 1977 Chevy owned by Frank Keys, set to go racing. Right here in East Peoria, Frank's underway.
Four-wheel drive Chevrolet. Let's see how Frank attacks this court.
You can see he was parked outside today, snow in the back of the truck.
Well, it's been outside, there's no doubt. Oh, there went the grill.
And a boy!
I don't know what else. We're still trying to pick up all the pieces and identify.
He went over a cone there. That's going to cost him 5 seconds. Looks like he's got something smoking out of the bottom now.
Just give it the gas. It'll be all right.
Boy, that thing's twisting in every direction.
It doesn't have but about 50 feet to go. He's going for it, but it's, remember, he took the pole off, but it has to be 6-7 feet above the ground.
Oh, the crowd loved that one here in Peoria. And I hope Frank doesn't have to go very far because it looks like he's got some big motor problems now.
And he backs up. Oh, these people are loving it.
They just threw the grill in the back of the truck. Watch this.
There's the smash. Here comes the grill right into the hood. Look at the smoke come out of it. You know, it's nothing that money won't fix.
No. Oh, that's what Pro Arena Truck Racing is all about. Gary Backman from out of Washington, Illinois, a 33-year-old driver. This is a truck known as Wild Horses.
We've seen this truck, and he runs well. It's just getting everything going the right way. Look at this, got a Napa sign on it. Out of Washington. Now, hard turn to the left. Let's see how he handles the course. Over the first jump, he'll nail it for that second one. Don't want to take out a cone. That's a 5-second penalty anytime you take out a cone. Hangs it hard to the left. The track just tearing up a little bit. I think they're going to be able to spin these trucks around a little bit later on this season. Now he's going to go for it. 22 seconds. Still has a long ways to the finish line. Now a tight turn. Hammers the Ford truck. big 400 cubic inch Ford. That's a good run. That puts him in the program.
Not bad for 78 Bronco. Well, old Frank Keys was a little bit more spectacular. Put on a pretty wild show, didn't you think, down there, Fred?
Keys right here. Frank, you tore up the truck. You got to run in arena trucks, but it may be your last time because it looks like you pummeled that thing.
That's okay. That's what it's for. That's what I brought it for.
Good. You going to come back?
Oh, yeah. I hope it's... I'll probably have it fixed by tomorrow.
Great. All right, back to you.
So Frank Keys might have to take a taxi home tonight, or at least find some fans out in the crowd to give him a lift.
I bet he's got friends here.
I bet he does, too. Sounds like he'll have it ready to go racing the next time we come back with the Pro Arena trucks to Peoria. Rob Mello out of Fresno. This is a driver we keep expecting as well to really put on a show in his Ford.
Finishes in the top 5 almost every time we see him run. Hasn't won it yet. This is the truck we talked about last week with 108,000 miles on it. His dad bought the truck brand new. It's never had the valve covers off of it. He came out here for 3 months just to race this series. The guy does a great job. The truck is stock, changed the front end, but he can really get the truck around the track. Had a flat on it last week. Had to put the trailer tire on it. He's got that fixed. Now he's just trying to get into this top 15, and I believe he's going to make it if he's got a good run at it. Come on, let's go, fellows. You can do it.
32:02. A ways off of Armbruster's time, but still might be good enough to get him in the program. Remember, we'll take the top 15 times and bring them back, run them again, and then it'll be the best of the times for all those competitors over the course of the evening, their 2 runs.
Mello comes around, done a great job with this truck. Now let's give him the big shot at the finish line. Drop the checker flag on a 32:02.
He's not an elbows out kind of driver. He's much smoother, but he gets a pretty good time. Basically, sometimes if you drive slower, you actually go quicker because you're smoother with what you do, and you get around the turns and set yourself up a little bit better, and that seems to work for Mello. It seems to be his style.
And you finish the course.
That's right. More snow in the back of the 37. This little Toyota set to go racing now. This is Mark Sutton out of Peoria, out of East Peoria. I wonder if he knows Frank. Maybe they came together.
Sure they did.
Sure they did. This is a 1985 Toyota. This is one of the 4 cylinders.
Boy, if it runs like the other Toyota we've seen, this could be a great night. Rust has got into the back of it a little bit. Let's see how he's going to attack the board. The big tires, Ralph, as we've seen before, doesn't help all that much. It hinders the turning abilities of the truck. A lot of the guys are going to the smaller tires so the trucks can turn sharper in the arenas like we're seeing here tonight. He's got a tag on the front of it. You know he came in just to race. Drove here this evening. I saw him pull in from back. Probably got here after he got off work into the 22nd zone at this time. I don't think he's going to break that 29.46 as much as he'd like to.
Snow flying in the back of the license plate. It says, I am rotten. Well, he might be in the program. 34:01. Don't know if that's going to get him in right now. I think that's a little bit slower than we expected out of the smaller machine. And a 5-second penalty tacked onto it, so I think I Am Rotten is out of the program. But a good effort, and Mark will have some bench racing conversations with his friend Frank, I'm sure, right after this.
That'll take you right into the living room.
Bounced it through there a little bit. Toyota working well, just throwing the snow out of the back. Now here's the Wild Horses truck back in here with its other driver.
These guys are partners on the truck. I think it's great that they can both take turns at it. You know, last week, one of them ran quicker than the other. Wouldn't you like to be in that truck on the way home?
Kevin Grunwald out of Washington, Illinois, which isn't very far from Peoria.
We've got several competitors out of Washington, Illinois tonight.
He's done a lot of mud racing. He's got 6 years experience with that, and he's even played around with a monster truck for 2 years.
Now let's see if he can put it on the floor. Good hard straightaway turn. Now you've got to get around that first jump, and when you do that, tires need to be turned to the left. You can't get any speed going into the first jump.
Uh-oh, look it come.
He took it out, took it diagonal across the jump, and that wouldn't work because he took out one of those ever so popular orange cones that are in the ground. And that's 5-second penalty. You know, Ralph, we're not seeing the truck start trucks like we did last weekend. I thought we'd be seeing a lot of that. One thing, these trucks are being stored inside tonight. Now they're going to go back outside in between rounds. So when they come back for that final 15, we may see that problem.
So 33:02 is the time, but you got to tack on another 5 seconds. You can see where he lost a lot of time here because he kept nosing it right into the ground. That slowed him up. So a total of 38:02 for Grunwald, and that isn't going to help him at all.
No, it's not. Safe landing. He's on all four wheels. You got to like that part of it.
Here's truck 33. Troy Tate out of Linwood, Illinois. This is the truck known as Iron Horse, 79 Ford Bronco, 460 motor.
Hard to have the power. Got a low tire on the right rear. I don't know whether that's intentional or accidental, but it's
could be intentional just to get good grip to launch the truck out of the turns.
Trying to get a little more traction.
Looks like it's two-wheel drive.
Let's set a jump. Hanks to the left side. Well, the track is really brutal tonight as far as the condition of it. Looks like the track we saw last week at a lot of bikes.
Very tough finding the hook on this track, and he's going to clear the finish line with a 34.27. So Armbrust at this point looking pretty strong with a 29.46, but we still haven't seen Roy Fisher, and we haven't seen Brozovic either.
Well, and you can bet when they turn the crank, the times will fall.
And they have, of course, been watching the rest of the competitors out here running, so I'm sure they're back there making adjustments to their machines, getting ready to go.
Yeah, I think they're probably putting another coat of wax on.
That's right.
Oh, look at this, Ralph. Is this pretty?
This is Ronald Price.
He didn't drive here, Ralph.
From right here in Peoria, Illinois, the truck is known as Just for Play. 1972 Chevy Blazer, the stock 350. Says the sponsor is his wife.
Didn't drive. I know that for a fact. No one can drive in this kind of weather without a top. Well, this is a beautiful truck. Good turn on it. Big tires on the truck here again. It hurts quite a bit as far as the steering is concerned with this truck. I don't think he'll just try to really get after this truck all that hard. It's absolutely a back hustle, front to back. A beautiful, beautiful piece.
Well, he's pretty smooth, you know. I mean, he's getting through the turns, not real spectacularly, but he's getting through it smoothly.
And
stalled it there.
Stalled it, but it comes back alive. Good tight turn, heads for the finish line area. Big air launch.
36.06. If they gave bonus points for looks, he might have been down to that 29-second range. But the 36.06, it's going to be pretty slow here tonight. He's not done yet. He's going to try to roll over a couple more before he's done. Looked good, just didn't run as well.
Stock 350 in the truck. There, it lays completely down. I think we saw what we've been talking about. That's the fuel coming out of the carburetor, just actually starving it for fuel. Oh, here's the man.
Dan Sutter in that Tough and Ugly.
You know, that's right on both counts.
77 GMC Blazer with a 454.
Got a little
Godzilla mounted on the front.
And it's got the Godzilla's got a Bronco in its mouth. Listen, if noise means anything, he's doing it. Of course, it's a 454, so he's got horsepower, and that's what it's going to take to win. Oh, got off the course a little bit. I think he's still clean all the way around.
He's in the hunt, I'll tell you that. He is in the hunt if he can get around this last corner, Judge. He's got the horsepower to get to the finish.
Oh, big power.
I think that's going to get him in the final.
I believe he is there, Ralph. And, you know, he may have taken the lead if he could have just got around that turn, headed for the final jump a little tighter, a little quicker.
Well, Tough and Ugly looking pretty right now. With that 31-second run, he could be in it.
Now, here's where the truck is really on the power, but look at this. He needs to be tighter in the turns. When he gets tighter in the turns, he's going to shave several seconds off of it. Big, long run for the finish line. The 454 gets to use its horsepower just a little bit.
Do you think he was trying to slide it around that turn there and it just wouldn't slide on him?
Evidently it was, and you're not going to get much of a slide on this thing because it's damp. Came in here frozen a few days ago. It's set and thawed out. It's not muddy at all. It's just got a lot of bite in it.
Well, we expected to see more of these last week, and we didn't, but this is our first Jeep of the night. This is Ron Kettle. It's a 1982 Jeep CJ7 with a 360 in it.
Well, he's off the throttle, and this, I believe, will be his first time to ever run the Pro Arena truck. So he probably watched it on television last week, making some great time right now, Ralph. Getting around the track extremely well. It's tight.
I keep thinking these Jeeps might be good for a series like this because they are small and nimble and plenty of power with them.
Before it's all over with, we may see a lot of Jeeps and a lot of Toyotas, a lot of the smaller vehicles. This guy's got a great run going, Ralph.
He's into it.
Fine run.
30-67. That'll bring the Jeep competitors back out. That's probably going to put him in the hunt. Well, Fred, what do you think? A Jeep, maybe the Beast come out with?
Very pretty run. Thank you. It's all going to be won in that last corner. You can make the corner, you're going to run fast, and that's where the win's going to be. Great. Think you can pick it up in the second round? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to. Great. Good run with Ron Kettle. Thanks. Back to you, Ralph.
So Ron Kettle looking like he might be in. Well, guess what? We got another Jeep.
Ralph, does it worry you how tall this Jeep sits?
Yeah, you know, it could be interesting watching him get through the turns. This is Steve Sanguinetti.
Got traction bars on it, double shock, but the center of gravity is way up in the air, and you see the body already leaning real hard to the left. We're going to keep our eye on him all the way around. So far, he looks good, but like we said earlier, the center of gravity is up just a little bit higher than you wanted to be.
He's got a 425 yanked out of a Cadillac stuffed inside of it. And it looks good. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to play with on an off weekend, but, well, you know, that 32.5 might be enough to get into the final 15.
We're going to have to see if he took out a cone on that race, though, but if he's clean, that's a great run.
Sounds like he hit a cone or two. So he thinks he is done for the night, but plenty of air with this one. Watch this. Looks like one of the Arenacross guys.
Oh,
we got two cones right there.
Had it just a little bit off. You know, these guys look great there for a little while.
I think this next competitor, Scott Van Opper, just drove in and came right out onto the racetrack. What do you see is this? You know, the snow on this one. Scott, turn on the wipers, would you?
I don't think the heater's working all that well.
The defroster definitely isn't. Name of the truck, Rust Bucket. I think the windshield wiper's probably just frozen right onto it. It's an 82 Ford Bronco, but it's a 6-cylinder.
He's got the radio on, though.
Yeah, he's searching for the right cassette. Well, with that truck, he's probably searching for the right 8-track.
Oh, Ralph. All right, he's on his way. Right rear tire seems to be a little low and rolling under, but he's still on.
Oh, boy.
Now we found out how the defroster works on this truck.
Look at the antenna flopping around.
Look at the right rear tire, Ralph. I can't see it making the whole course.
I love it. Ooh. I'll tell you what, the whole arena vibrated when that big Ford hit the ground.
Ralph,
make the show, baby.
Look at the time.
And a boy, Scott. 32.60. If he ran it clean, he might be back with us. Well, the truck got lighter on every corner because he dropped more snow off of it. The wipers still aren't unstuck. Oh, Scott Van Oppen out of Roanoke, Illinois. Look at this.
You know, Ralph said, he said home last week, he said, I can do this.
And you know what? He did. Scott Van Oppen is a pro arena truck driver.
Quick drop back here in the studio in Charlotte for Motor Madness live on TNN. Katie Haas and Randy Pemberton hanging out. And we've got more truck challenge coming up, but we also have Eli Gold. He's standing by at Disneyland, and what he's going to have with us is Tammy Jo Kurt. And Tammy Jo, of course, the female truck driver for Jeff Bodine. We'll see what she has to say about how her season's starting off.
Plus, at halftime, we'll have NASCAR news and notes, and we've got a surprise fast tester down at Daytona. In the Busch Series, we'll have all that and a whole lot more. But right now, let's head back out to Peoria, Illinois, to Ralph Shaheen and Mike Galloway. Ralph, I got a question for you. You're doing a great job out there, but until I consider you an expert, I want to know when you're going to get in one of these things. You got a ride yet?
You know, Randy, it would not take much for me to get behind the wheel of one of these things. In fact, a simple invite would be all it would take. But I don't think there's any one of these drivers out here dumb enough to give me a set of keys to try one of these things. I would love to do it. These guys look like they're having so much fun. But if I get a shot at it, you can be sure I'll take it. Let's check in with Fred.
Well, I got Scott Van Hopper here. Scott, all of a sudden you're a trap babe. You're flopping around all over the place after coming in from the cold.
Yep, enjoy it. Live the four-wheel.
All right, well, you're in a 32. We'll see you second round.
All right, thank you.
Live to four-wheel to live.
Ralph, I can get you a ride.
I'm all over it. I'm telling you, you give me a ride, Mike, and I am in the thing. This is Kathleen, yes, Blazers do fly McNamara, and that is how she calls herself. Let's see how Kathleen can do here.
Kathleen is as close to a pro as you get. She has raced several times. She knows how the truck works. She knows what it takes to win these things. Kathleen is looks like she's delivering the Daily Express right there. She's just really getting around the course well. Saw her as a Rock Award winner from USA Motorsports a couple of years ago in '95.
Oh, she missed the turn, Mike. She's done. She missed the whole section. So she missed the final turn, and I think that's going to hurt her bad. We also had a disqualification for Ron Kettle in his Jeep earlier on, who did not come to a complete stop after crossing the finish line, so he has been disqualified as well, unfortunately, after a great run. Well, here's the guy we've been waiting for, truck number 13.
Now, did he say he waxed his truck?
Yeah, he waxed it. I'm not sure what there is left to wax if you look at the bodywork, but he did wax it.
You know what his son asked him? Will you turn it over for me, Dad?
Rory Fisher, truck number 13.
Oh, Rory has got a great run headed. Come on, Rory. Tear that Toyota out.
1984 SR5 with a stock four-cylinder.
Look at this.
Man, he's cooking.
Oh, he is, and I tell you what, he can get around the turn, hammer hard on the straightaway. He's got this thing a big-time lead on it.
How about that? 28.68.
That's where he wanted to be.
Unbelievable. So Fisher does it once again.
If the steering wheel will hold up, there is a good jump. Hard on. I don't really see how it stands out, but watch him make this turn. And then he just hammers this four-cylinder for everything he's worth. Big, long jump at the end. What a job.
Rory Fisher with the arms and the elbows flying and the little Toyota hooking up is the #1 truck right now. We are back to our Monster Truck Challenge with USA Motorsports live from Peoria. That's a good look at the backside of Bigfoot. Point standings, or the position standings right now, I should say, for the Pro Arena trucks. You can see Rory Fisher has put himself on top. We've got about 6 trucks left to go here in round #1. Let's check in with Rory down there with Fred.
Well, I told you guys earlier, this guy's got the fire in the belly. Roy, that fire puts you in first place with a 28.
Yeah, that Toyota, I got to push it hard because old Joe Brozovic, he's always right there trying to beat me, or beat me, I should say. So I had to push it pretty hard.
What was the key factor tonight? What made you go on top?
I guess it was that last jump. I went for it where everybody else is slowing down, so it had to be it. The track's good and sticky too. I think that helped a lot.
Great. Back to you, Ralph. Roy's at #1.
Yes, he is, Fred. Thank you. And we're set to go with the next truck. This is John Youngblood out of Corder, Missouri. 34-year-old with a truck known as Bits and Pieces, 1981 Chevy pickups.
Got to be a little bit discouraging for this truck because he had a new truck last year, had a black truck last year, and that truck performed extremely well. Always tough. This truck has been plagued with some mechanical problems, and all through the race we've seen him last weekend, and just hasn't lived up to the expectations on it. Maybe tonight he can get in the program, but boy, the clock is telling another story.
Interesting way of displaying your sponsor's name on the back of the truck.
Just some extra tuber boards and a little plexiglass.
Oh, he took out the pole big time. I mean, he split it in half. 34.8. Look at the pole. They absolutely took it apart.
When they see the finish line, their eyes get big and their foot gets heavy.
John Youngblood still working on this Chevy. Here's a look at the pole going away.
Ooh, that'll do it. Every time.
Well, this is one of my favorite trucks here, the 93. Now, this one should be called Bits and Pieces because it literally is bits and pieces of every piece of Ford that was built in the 70s. This is Ron George out of Osceola, Iowa.
Now, we know he's got a heater because the motor sits right beside him.
Literally.
Yeah. He may be spraying for a few mosquitoes this time of year, too. He shows no mercy on this Ford truck. I'm telling you, if it'll stand it, he will drive it and drive it to the limit. Some of them have independent suspension in the front. This has got independent suspension on the bed.
Ooh, oh boy. The Osceola, Iowa driver giving it a run to the finish. And a 31.6, not bad.
Not bad at all. He's in the Fast 15.
Well, he made Fast 15 last week too, didn't he?
And yes, and the truck's still moving. What more can you ask for?
More parts, I think, after the way he drives it.
All right, let's take a shot at him down the finish line, headed into the living room. That was a rough landing. There's another rough landing. Ralph, I believe he's added some shoulder harness to keep him from bouncing up and down this weekend to possibly keep everything in line.
Pretty good idea for the truck known as the Evil Twin. We're coming back to Peoria. Peoria, Illinois is the site of round number 2 of the USA Motorsports Monster Truck Challenge, and we are in the middle of our Pro Arena Truck competition. This is a truck appropriately named Zebra. Shane Ballard from Springfield, Missouri. 1974 Ford Bronco with a fuel-injected 302.
This truck is set up right. Won the RCA Dome a few years ago in the same specific type course you see. Everything on this truck looks right. The truck handles well. We've seen this truck run before. He is awesome. I think the fuel-injected Ford motor really helps him on this track. Now all he's got to do is go out and run quicker than anyone else. He's in the 28 lows. 28.
Well, he's got the first portion of the course nailed down pretty good. No, and he might have problems with the tire. Yep, right front is toast, but he's driving on.
Well, he's probably got enough time if he can just limp it across the finish line. He may qualify, and he's not going to even attempt. He takes it outside. Bead locks are going to become a necessity. Either bead locks or a lot of the guys are talking about putting tubes in the tires, but I think bead locks are really going to be a necessity for these trucks.
I think you might be right. It's a good indication of it right there as you get a look from our camera down there in the pits. Rory Fisher telling him that right front ain't going anywhere. So this is the one that Rory Fisher is going to be paying a lot of attention to. Joe Brozovic.
Roy will be standing and watching very close. This is one of the finest young men you'll ever want to meet anywhere. He is so America that it's unbelievable. Last weekend the truck missed it. He found out that he put a new hood on it, and it had a brace that wore a hole in the distributor cap, and there's where the miss came from. He told me I took the torch and straightened that out. Hurry. He's blistering this track, Ralph. I mean, just spanking it.
Well, he's going to be driving aggressive. He knows what he's got to shoot for. 28.68. Boy, he flew it there.
Got some magic air and a hard turn to quit on it. Just buzzed a little bit, but look.
We got a new leader atop the board, 27.98.
And the truck bobbled at the finish line. He didn't have power there for just a matter of moments.
Boy.
And he still takes the lead by close to a second. Now, this is the big fly. Over this, right in this area is where you're going to see the truck quit. Right on the turn, it laid completely down. Hard left-hand turn, lined up for the finish line.
So Joe Brozovic comes out and puts it to Rory Fisher. Things heating up with the Pro Arena trucks in Peoria, Illinois. Well, we've run all but one of our Pro Arena trucks in round number 1, and right now Joe Brozovic is the big dog on top of the heap. He's got that 27.98. And there you see everybody catching up after him. Fisher, Armbrust, Harlan, and Rosenthal. Randall Harlan, first one out, sitting there in the middle of this thing. And here is the last truck to go. This is the one known as Concoction, which had problems at Des Moines. This is Chris McKay, or McCoy, I should say.
V6 Chevrolet in this little truck. It sounds good. Sounds strong. It's got all the right suspension under it. As you mentioned, he did have some problems in Des Moines.
Doesn't want to be too aggressive over the double jump area.
The front suspension on this truck is pretty tight. Really tight around the curves.
Rolling through the jumps instead of flying them like we've seen by some of the competitors. But not really hurting too much of the time, is it?
Doing a great job, and the time is very, very good.
29.92. I got a feeling we'll be seeing the Concoction truck again.
I don't think so, Ralph. I mean, you may be right, but look at the front end on it.
Oh boy, it broke big, didn't it?
The left front tire has gone astray, whether it broke a tie rod or U-joint or something, a knuckle in there, one of the two.
Well, if they've got the pieces to fix it, maybe they can make it back out. You can see where it snapped right off there. Let's check in with Fred.
Ralph, I got Joe Brozovic down here. Of course, leave it to Joe to knock off Roy off the top standing there. Joe, great run.
Thanks. You know, that Toyota, I get tired of seeing it every time, and I've been beat by it too many times. I got tired of Roy saying, it's only a stock four-cylinder, it's only a stock four-cylinder. So what really helped was the track is smaller, so these little Broncos get around a lot faster, especially with the V8s. We got low-end torque a lot better. The track is really sticky, and I just laid down a good pass. And I'd like to say thanks to my sponsor, Rockdale Automotive, everybody back home at work, my wife and child. Hi, everybody.
Well, there you have it. Roy's back on top, but I mean, Joe's back on top, but I'm sure Roy's waiting in the wings. Back to you, Ralph.
Okay, thanks. The Concoction truck going to have to get a little helping hand off the race course here when they get back in the pit area. Maybe Chris McCoy and his team can go to work on the Concoction Toyota and get it straightened out and get it back out.
Rack and pinion steering, racked all right.
Well, each week he is getting a little bit better. I mean, it didn't get that far in Des Moines, but now he's got a good setup figured out.
There's just going to be a couple of weak points that it'll take time again to get all of the weak points found and corrected, and one of them in the steering, and there is the problem.
Well, as you can tell from the rumble in the background, the monster trucks are firing up.
Oh, that is where the steering shaft goes into the rack and pinion itself.
Sounds like a little bit of work on a cold night.
A lot of work.
Well, they have fired up the Virginia Giant, and they have fired up Bigfoot. This would be the, if you can believe it, for Bigfoot, consolation race in the obstacle course portion. Now, Bigfoot can come out of this with a minimum, well, a minimum of 30 points, a maximum of 40.
Needs the 40 points if he's going to go ahead and try to claim King of the Hill tonight.
Has to have it.
It really isn't. Diehl Wilson, on the other hand, has got other things on his mind.
Well, now, folks, to give you a good idea, I mean, the folks at Bigfoot came here loaded. They brought everybody with them from their shop, looking to dominate and win this event, locked themselves in with a bye in round number 1 in Indy. They won the King of the Hill title here tonight in Peoria big time.
I think, Ralph, maybe one of the things we need to look at, they hauled this truck up here today in the cold. A lot of the trucks were here and set inside and warmed up overnight. That may have been one of the things that the reason the truck didn't perform right off the bat the way we thought it would.
Wow, he got a good jump. It's the turn first.
Diehl Wilson's picking up the left front tire. His truck absolutely will not slide, but look at this. He's around the corner.
40 points for Bigfoot, and that was crucial to their efforts to making themselves King of the Hill here tonight in Peoria.
That was the only thing left that they could do, Ralph. They actually was in a situation where they had to win that round.
Here's a look at him getting over the turn.
See what Runte's done when the truck came off of that set of tires. The rear tires were turned, the front tires were turned. He actually had the truck set up to finish the race when he came off that set of cars.
Giant will take the 30 points. set for the drag racing portion of the program yet to go.
I like the paint job on that Virginia Giant.
A good-looking truck. One of the higher setting trucks in the business of monster truck racing. Now, Samson came real close to becoming king of the hill last week in Des Moines. He's got a real good shot to get a stranglehold on the position right now, but the Equalizer has already put away Bigfoot. That's got to worry old Dan Patrick a little bit.
I think Patrick tuning this motor, changing the fuel pump last weekend, putting a fresh pump on it, putting a little more pressure in it. This is in car with Diehl Wilson, unstrapping.
Watching from inside the Virginia Giant.
That's a safe place to be.
Yeah, not bad.
Who do you like, Ralph?
You know, that Equalizer truck could be on a roll tonight. He got a good start.
Boy, he's driving this course. Beautiful. Look at the power. Look at this place. He is so on go for this course.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if they'd gone one more time around, he'd have lapped him.
The truck ran extremely well. I have to give the truck that. But you've got to give David Morris credit for driving this track the way he did. Off the cars, tires cut to the left. On the cars, off the cars, tires cut to the left again. He is absolutely smoking tonight.
Watch this. Here's Samson.
A lot of power. Dan doesn't do anything wrong, except he doesn't pop the rear tires coming off the cars. He waits till the truck lands.
Look at that.
Is he on a roll, Ralph?
He was half a lap ahead of it, Mike.
Ralph,
no doubt about it.
You know this business, you call that one before the race ever started.
Oh, my. Well, the Equalizer. Now, this is what I find really interesting. Last week, Dragon Slayer comes out of the mix. Claims King of the Hill, has the bye at Indy. What if Equalizer comes into Peoria, puts away Samson, puts away Bigfoot? He'll have a bye. The biggest trucks in the business right now are sitting on the side, staring at the fact they might have to run round number 1 at Indy.
Oh, that would be a pressure situation now. Well, here's the way it all sifts out this evening. Equalizer on top and Samson in the number 2 spot.
So 60 points to Equalizer, 50 to Samson. Will set 40 points to Bigfoot and 30 to the Giant. Wow.
They're going to carry all of those into the drag racing portion of this competition.
Well, Fred has made his way over to a very excited, I would believe, driver of the Equalizer. Fred?
Thanks, Ralph. Yeah, I got Dave Morse here. Dave, you're all over that thing.
Yeah, we're getting hot out here now. We're starting to figure out the course a little bit. So, you know, we done good in the roundy round. We'll see what we do in the straight line.
Now, what do you got up your sleeve for the straight line?
Well, you know, hopefully we just got the motor set and the clutch and everything where we can pull a good hole shot. We're running against some major horsepower here, so we're a little bit under horsepower for the straight line, but hopefully we'll get it.
All right, well, that's Dave Morris in the Equalizer running hot tonight.
Well, I think he's going to be a strong contender in the drag racing portion of the program because his truck's been launching well, but the truck that really didn't launch well early on, didn't turn real good, but launched real well, was the Bigfoot truck. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that as we get set for the drag racing portion of the Monster Truck Challenge yet to go here from the Peoria Civic Center. Hey, we've got the final event of the Arenacross yet to go, and we've got one more round of competition with the Pro Arena trucks as well. That'll take care of the mid-portion here in Peoria. Let's head back to Charlotte where it's a little bit warmer, I got to believe, inside that studio, huh, guys?
No doubt about it. Possible upset in the making out there, huh?
Oh, it's very exciting stuff, and the fans look really pumped up for the whole thing, and we'll get back to that in just a few minutes. But
Welcome back to the TNN Motor Madness Machine. Randy Pemberton, Katie Haas in our MoMad studio.
Is that MoMad? Yeah,
MoMad.
Oh, it has a nice little ring to it. Let's go back out to Peoria, Illinois, because there we have Ralph, Mike, and Fred, and we're ready for the Monster Truck Challenge to continue.
Katie, the only thing mad over here is my buddy Mike Galloway sitting next to me. Ralph Shaheen, Mike Galloway, and Fred Barston with you as we get set to go back at it here in Peoria. We're going to start off with the final event of the Arenacross program here tonight. Here's a quick look at the lineup. Now, these guys all finished in the top 5 of their respective heat races. So this is going to be a pretty good shootout for the finish here. Watch the green flag. Anytime within the seconds here of that flag going up, he'll go across the line. 3 to 6 seconds, he'll throw it and we're underway.
Oh, a little push and shove on at the start of it, Ralph, with the green flag dropping. There was a lot of bumping right out of the box.
Well, this is Jeff Hill out front. That's 746. That's the 250 Kawasaki. Now he's being chased by a 125 Honda. That's Durosky on the other one. The Honda right behind him. So we thought the 125 was going to be the tip to this deal. The other 125 right behind him. That's number 27, Aaron Whipple on the Suzuki.
We also saw in that second moto that when the 250s got out in front, with no traffic around them, they could build a pretty good lead, and that's what's happening now.
Smolbach getting chased on number 573, the other Suzuki, and then the first of the Yamahas, the YZ, bike number 64, right behind them.
Well, they've learned that you're either going to make those doubles or you're not going to even try them, because we've had several crashes over on the far side when they tried to shoot the doubles, landed into the side of the second jump, and that has been treacherous for several riders.
Here comes Parks, number 66 on that Yamaha, trying to sneak up in there, and it's all the big green Cowie right now out front. There's your leader out front, the little red Honda trying to give chase.
I think if he catches him, Ralph, he's going to have to do it in the corners. He's going to have to get around him in the corner because the cow pulls so hard on the straightaway.
Well, they're pulling away from the Suzuki. He's got his hands full back there fighting it out for third. Here comes the traffic, the 69 and Mitch Tortzen having to get out of the way. Here come the leaders pounding their way through. They're getting ready to go past bike number 130 now. Gardner, the other 250 Kawasaki, trying to move over. And they're going to get stuck in traffic right here. Here's where the Honda's going to have the advantage.
No doubt he's agile, it's lightweight. If he's going to do anything, he has to do it at this point, but he's too far back, Ralph. I don't think he's going to be able to slip up and take the win.
He got hung up trying to get around the 180 machine. That was Malson on the Honda, and once he could get past him, it was all over from there. So the 746 is Jeff Diehl out of DeKalb, Illinois. Tough racing back Kawasaki with just one lap to go. But look at this. Here comes Spiroski. He's making a run at him. Farmington, Illinois. Oh, he almost lost the rear end.
Beautiful riding. Absolutely perfect to keep that thing on the ground. What a great job for that young man.
Checkered flag will go to Hill. Spiroski will get second. I believe third. He's going to go to the 6060 Yamaha. Did a great job of fighting his way through the pack. Brandon Bartz out of Kelowna, Illinois on the Yamaha will come home in third.
Well, that was a great job of riding right towards the end.
Boy, Hill did a great job on that Kawasaki, winning his heat with the eyeball popping out. Great looking helmet paint scheme. He will go ahead and not only win his heat, but Fred, he will win the main event.
We got Jeff Hill here, winner of the Autocross. Jeff, how was it?
Oh, it was pretty good. Track's kind of narrow tonight. You get a good start, you can pretty much, just as long as you don't make no mistakes, you can do everything perfect and win. That's just what we did.
Great, that's Jeff Hill.
So Jeff Hill, our Arenacross winner here tonight, taking his heat race and taking the checker flag in the main event on his big 250 Kawasaki. And there's a quick look in the rundown. Hill, Spiroski, Schmolbach, Parts credited with fourth. Wemple comes home in fifth on the Suzuki. We'll be back for more from Peoria right after this.
Blue Bob's, Texas.
The world's largest honky-tonk.
Bull riding right inside.
Anybody in country music has walked across that stage.
Chris Ledoux.
Lone Star.
Sonny Bergen. Reba McEntire.
Garth Brooks.
When you think of big names in country music, you think of Best Buy, where you'll find thousands of CDs for under $10. Get Dina Carter's new release, Did I Shave My Legs for This? Just $10.99 at Best Buy. Some places are known for great music.
Scientific research takes arthritis pain relief to an advanced level with Zostrix. So effective, doctors prescribe Zostrix brand more than any other topical pain reliever. So advanced, it needs no prescription. Zostrix, advanced relief for arthritis pain.
I love my denture cream.
I'll trade you this toothpaste for your denture cream.
Monty Hall.
Will this denture wearer give up his denture cream?
I'll even throw in mouthwash and a soap.
No deal. Denture cream's minty and cleans much better than soaks. All you need is denture cream.
Well, don't forget, if you like what you're seeing here tonight on TNN's Motor Madness, you've got to see the USA Motorsports Show in person. Now, 2 weeks from now, those of you in Portland and Denver will get a chance to do just that. January 31st through February 2nd, the Monster Truck Challenge will be roaring into the Portland Rose Garden and the Denver Coliseum. So make sure you come out and check it out. I know my buddy Mike is going to make his way to the Fargo Dome.
I want to go to Fargo. That's just, you know, I thought we've been cold the last 2 weeks. I've gone over the schedule. I'm going to the Fargo Dome.
I just like the name, Fargo Dome.
The only thing I've seen that looks like it might be warm is down in Texas, Beaumont, when we go down there.
Yep, we'll be going to Beaumont, Texas. We'll be bringing you that on TNN. We're going to have the Monster Truck Challenge from Memphis later this year as well. We'll be going to Kansas City, and we'll be wrapping it all up with a big Super Bowl of our competition from Indianapolis. This should be a great season of Monster Truck Racing live on TNN's Motor Madness. Now, we're shifting gears, if you will say, and making our way into the drag racing portion of the Monster Truck Challenge. A whole nother series of points up for grabs here. 60 points to the winner of this one as well.
Ooh, and the man with the 60 points in his hand right now is a truck out of Tennessee. Here's two guys that have just absolutely, these are must-wins. They advance every time. You've got to go a little bit more, a little further. Showed that graphic with Diehl being an NTPA, a National Tractor Puller. He was a Grand National Truck Puller with the Virginia Giant.
So Dan Patrick in the far lane, and it's the Virginia Giant in the near lane.
And he was also a tractor puller. So we got a couple of ex-tractor pullers moved over to Monster Truck Racer. Oh, good shot. This is going to really show what goes on.
This is all down to getting that truck to squat down on the track and get a good drive out of the dirt.
Absolutely leave hard. That's what you got.
Well, the Giant took off pretty good.
He left hard.
Boy, did he ever.
That was a very close race right at the finish also.
The Giant gets credited with the win. So he'll move on to the finals. Now he's staring at a minimum of 50 points, so he's in great shape. Let's take a look at the replay here. Look how good the Virginia Giant leaves. Look at that.
That truck transfers weight. It's a close race, but Diehl really, you know, just noses the Samson truck out a couple of inches.
The problem Samson had, Mike, was at the end there, he was still climbing while the nose of the Giant was crossing the line.
Also, the dirt over on the side where Samson left from looks like it tore up much more than it did on this our side of the track.
Absolutely.
It could be loose on that side, and that's going to be tough on everyone. If that's the case, the Equalizer goes into that loose lane, and it could hurt him a lot.
Now, both of these trucks, Bigfoot and Equalizer, were the best levers out of the obstacle course. This is what Bigfoot needs, though. Bigfoot needs to knock Equalizer out now. Put him in the loser bracket where he can only get a maximum of 40 points. We could have a tiebreaker here.
We could do that. Very, very careful. You know, and when we do that, we go to the winner of the obstacle course to break that tie.
Best time out of the obstacle course is what we go to.
But it's going to be close. This, I'd say it's a critical race right here for David.
This is huge. This could be the king of the hill on the line right here.
One thing's for sure, they've done.
What's this, Mike? We got a bit of a smoking problem going on here?
No, I think that's just a little, heat that's coming out of the engine. They've got tubes that come out of the valve covers and run down to the back. It's just a little steam coming out of it. He's not in any trouble.
That's the back of the Equalizer you were looking at. Here we go. Bigfoot, I think, huh?
I don't know.
Boy, that was close.
It was so close. Both the trucks about the same out.
We got the word. It's Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Wow. Oh, boy. Now, if Bigfoot can go on and win the drag racing portion of this thing, we're going to have a tie. Look at this.
Well, Foot picks the front end up, and here again, I think we may be into this loose lane, that far side.
Well, I got to agree with you, Mike, because Equalizer was right there with him, and had he had just a hair better lead, it might have gone the other way. I think that lane is coming apart. That can make a big difference now in who gets which lane in the final here between Bigfoot and the Virginia Giant. The drag racing portion of the Monster Truck Challenge underway here in Peoria. is underneath a monster truck.
What is
Don't get too close, it could bite.
That's Gary Saline. He's the man that turns the wrenches on the motors on the Bigfoot truck.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him because he is in the hunt to put themselves into a tie here and maybe claim King of the Hill tonight. Well, we are set to go with the final round of Pro Arena Trucks. That's Randall Harlan, who ran a 29.69.
I don't think a 29.69 will win this.
No. You got to beat a 27.98. That's what Brozovich turned in round number 1. Remember, there's the quickest time that comes out of this of the 2 rounds.
Very smooth round, not a real ground pounding, earth-shaking pass, but smooth so far. Truck's just getting around the course the way it should, gets a little air and lands well. Got the tires cut hard to the left. Now he's going to swing it around. Let's see if he can go to it.
No, he's out of it. Not a bad run, but still, you know, he actually improved on his previous run by about 1/10 of a second, but just not good enough, but consistent. Very, very consistent.
Not a bad run, but it's not enough to win, so it's not a great run. Got the tires cut when he lands. He's quick into the turns, works the truck around. He could only cut it a little closer. I really think he might have been there, but that's not going to happen tonight. On down the road.
Here's the guy with all the weight of the crowd piled up on him. This is Mike Rosenthal, who we introduced you to earlier tonight in his Ford Bronco. Rosenthal ran a 30.99. He's from right here in Peoria. And he's got the in-car camera. You can see it mounted just to the right of his shoulder there. This is his hometown. He's a regular on the tour. He really expects to do well here tonight. Right now, Mike, he is 3 seconds out of this deal.
I really thought that he'd do much better than that. You know, a short coupled Bronco, and they're showing their stuff tonight. I thought that this guy would be really a contender. He's going to have to shave 3 seconds off of it.
Well, a Bronco is a quick time right now. Brozovich drives a Bronco as well.
3:02 on it.
Here he goes.
Oh, Ralph, he is going to try. He's trying to take 3 seconds off of it. Look how hard he's pushing this truck.
Well, he's got to, Mike. He has really got to work this thing hard. He's got to be smooth, but he's got to be aggressive. Look how deep he goes into that turn.
They riding in that truck with that video camera. It's kind of making me a little woozy. Look at that. Now, this is where he's got to get on it and get on it hard. He's going to really improve his time, Ralph. He really needs on the throttle. He needs to really get it.
Improved on the time, but he is short.
Not a happy camper.
He picked up a second, but not enough. In fact, he almost picked up 2 seconds, but not enough. You know what he did, Mike? Right here, he went very wide in the turn.
Got it big wide.
That probably cost him a good 1.5 seconds right there.
Picked the left front tire completely up off the ground. Also, the truck was working. The bite was there.
Next up, Rick Armbruster. This is the guy who's got the time to beat. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I take it back. He had the first time to beat the 29.46. So we know this is a quick truck. He's about 1.5 seconds off.
He could shave it. It's very possible. Depends on how he makes the swing right at the finish line. Smooth right now. Very hard on the throttle. Force is held together. So, wow.
Really flew it through there.
When he went for it, he really went for it. Look at the time, Ralph. Look at the time.
Oh, just missed it. 28.21. Missed it by about 0.3 of a second.
I thought he was there when he made that curve.
He picked up over 1 second off of his time. What a great effort, but it comes up just short.
Fans are loving it.
Oh, boy, what an aggressive run by Armbruster. He's going to be a contender here along the way.
Watch this, Ralph. Big air. Now, hard into the throttle. Got the tires cut to the left. The track is tight. You can't spin the back of the truck around and head it for the straightaway the way you want to.
That puts him into 2nd place right now.
Just a little short coming around that course. They could have got a little more power on it.
Well, here's the one we keep waiting to explode onto the scene. Mike Nelson, a 31.98 in his Toyota. Calls the truck Tonka.
It's gonna happen, Ralph.
I know. I agree with you. It's gonna happen. You can see he wasn't too good in Des Moines. We expected a lot there, but he's running much better here tonight in Peoria. This truck always bounces pretty wild. Keep your eyes on it.
His first pass was the first best pass we've seen him make this year in the truck.
Not as aggressive as normal.
Not picture perfect, and that may be why he's doing such a good job. The other 2 times we saw him running Peoria, he hammered this thing every time around. Now he's setting back just a little bit. Ralphie's just going to be so close, not going to make it. And the truck was
29.63.
Truck was missing just a hair when it came across the finish line.
Well, you know, he ran a 31.98 and he improves to a 29.63. So that's 2 seconds, 2 solid seconds he picked up. The driving style was much different, and that's where the time came from.
It's going to happen before this season is over with. This guy's going to win one.
All right, so here comes the Wild Horses machine. That's going to be the next one we're going to see as we take a look at the replay of the Tonka.
Just couldn't get around the corner. I don't think the truck's too long. I just think it's a new truck. It's a teething process, and it's a learning process.
Well, when we come back, Wild Horses will be up, ready to go out on the racetrack.
Welcome back to TNN Motor Madness. Randy Pepperman, Katie Haas here. And next week, folks, we've got our NASCAR preview show.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to have a lot of news about the world of Winston Cup racing, but we also are going to fill time with an incredible event, our first annual Motor Madness Challenge. It was crazy. It was sick. Look out. It was a lot of fun. This is going to be nuts. I'm telling you, we had 3 race teams out there, and they were all competing against really oddball sports games, I guess you could call them, and we'll show it to you next week. It's incredible. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and none of their car owners knew they were doing it, but nonetheless, they did it, and they'll be on the air next week. Right now, we need to head back out to Peoria, Illinois, with Ralph Shaheen. Ralph?
Thank you, Randy. We are set to continue here with our TNN Motorsports Madness. What do you think about that challenge thing there? I think we can take that blue car right there and go compete in that thing.
I think we can do it, Ralph. You drive, I'll push.
Yeah, all right. I'm in for that.
Yeah, I knew that would help.
Here's a look at the top standings now, the Pro Arena Truck Challenge. Right now, this is the top 5. Now, remember, it is the best time from the 2 rounds of competition. So even if Brozovic can't better his time, if that 27.98 is still a quick time, it will be the winning time. Gary Backman going to give it a shot. Wild Horse.
1990 IMSA champ. Converted over to Pro Arena.
I like how he gets 1 weekend on TV and he comes back with a sponsor. How do you like that?
Yeah, he's got the Napa store from Washington.
Oh, God, that is great.
He needed the body shop from Washington.
Right into the cart for the monster truck.
Well, it just hurts a hickey on the left front, but he's okay. Boy, that looked like AJ Foyt, that is.
You know what? Galloway, you are the only person I know. You ordered quiche for breakfast, and you're the only guy I know that can work in the word hickey into a racing show. You are my hero. Look at this.
Oh, this is sad.
That's not sad. That is great.
Now, will there be an insurance form filled out on that?
What's the deductible on that thing?
It's a total.
Fred, that truck was a total before they started the night.
And had a little miss out there. What happened? We just came out there too hard and got her crossed up, and I keep going into all the cars. And no matter where they put cars, I seem to find them all the time. So we'll come back, get them again. No big deal. It's Gary Byron. Good run. Back to you, Ralph.
Mike Galloway, the professor of truckology, the only man that would come to Peoria, Illinois, try to order a quiche for breakfast, and then works the word hickey into a live racing show. Live television. Rob Mello out of Fresno, California, doing the whole Pro Arena Truck Tour.
All right, Mello, show us your stuff. Well, he's added the spare tire to the back. I think that's for weight. He needs a little more traction. Mello gets around the course well. He's an all-business driver.
He is, and I just don't understand
8,000 miles on the Ford motor without anything done to it. Said he won a set of Doug Thorley headers and sure ran better.
Well, he's through. Let's see if we can get a rundown on the time and see if the Go for Broke has improved at all. Still waiting for the time to come across from timing and scoring here. Well, he picked up a second, Mike, with a 31.09 from the 32 that he ran in round number 1. That's not going to help him too much. So that truck still teetering in the thick of things, but not ready to win just yet. Now that Just for Play truck that we like so much, pretty looking truck. Yeah, I think that's one of the nice and fun things about this series. Everywhere we go, some of the locals really bring out some neat pieces of equipment.
Some great stuff.
This one ran 36.86 for Ron Price in round number 1.
Boy, is that not a beautiful truck, Ralph? My truck and that truck has one thing in common. They're both white. That's it.
It looks good, but he's struggling a little on the line, knocking over the poles.
Well, and he spent a lot of time looking at the pole trying to fall.
Can't do that, Ron. You got to stand on the gas.
And he takes your advice. Uh-oh. Saw a lot of sparks out of the right front that time. Probably the fan into the fan shroud.
It's not a good idea, is it?
No, not a pretty thing. It did not before you. And he did.
Tell you what, that's a big, heavy truck, too. When it hits the ground, I mean, the whole grandstand just rattled.
Now for the big one.
Well, Just for Play is the only truck so far to go slower in round number 2. Matthew slower by some 2.5 seconds almost. Just for Play was having a lot of fun. Look at that. That big Blazer breaking the concrete underneath the dirt here on the floor of the Peoria Civic Center. Pro Arena trucks having at it. Live on TNN. Well, it is brutally cold outside here at the Peoria Civic Center, but from the crowd that is here tonight, you can hear how much fun they're having as it cheered on the monster trucks. And right now, the Pro Arena trucks, which are competing here at the Peoria Civic Center. It's Friday night, TNN Motorsports. Coming right back. Pro Arena trucks working their way through their second and final round here at the Peoria Civic Center. TNN Motor Madness, some of our crew working hard, getting dirty down there with the big monster trucks and the Pro Arena trucks, trying to bring you all the best live coverage of this that we can. Tough and Ugly set to go. Now, Tough and Ugly ran a 31.04, did Dan Sutter.
Uh-oh. He's a home builder in Memphis, Tennessee.
Popping, gagging, and wheezing as he came off the starting line, though.
Builds good homes, but now he's got to build horsepower.
Godzilla hanging on.
Godzilla is there, but Godzilla has got a little Hot Wheels Bronco in its mouth.
Really tips and belts on that Godzilla as we keep running Tough and Ugly. Oh, look at the flames belching out of the bottom. Tough and Ugly takes down the pole, belches flames.
Jim Harbuck's eyes were large.
Jim Harbuck, of course, the flag man here with USA Motorsports.
Oh, let's see.
How about this? Belching flames and taking out the pole. Godzilla head first.
He didn't just glance it, almost dead center. Probably got teeth marks in it from where Godzilla got a bite of it when he went by.
Let's see. Tough and Ugly runs a 33.53, so he slowed down some. Put on a great show, though. Now, here's one of the trucks that was a lot of fun to watch early on. Scott Van Oppen out of Roanoke, Illinois, 32.60 in round number 1. Still got the snow on there. I don't think the windshield wipers have been frosted yet. Snow still falling off of it. He's got the window down.
His sponsors is written right underneath the back of it. It's not coming out. It's in magic marker.
Boy, that left rear wheel goes flat to the ground every time it comes off the jump.
And you know, it hasn't broken. The bead hasn't broken. The building is shaking.
I mean, it's stricken. It's hitting the Richter scale every time it goes over.
Oh, boy.
29.69.
No way. I can't believe he went that fast.
29.69. He picked up 3 full seconds. Unbelievable. Watch this thing hit the ground.
Watch the tires this time. Look. This will give you an idea how hard it lands.
Look at the snow and the mud flying off this thing. He literally dribbled it in between the double jumps. Scott Van Oppen, pro arena truck driver. Back to the Peoria Civic Center in frozen Peoria, Illinois, where we're working our way through the final round of the pro arena trucks. Joe Brozovic still holds on to the top slot, the only driver to dip into the 27-second range, the quickest time we've seen yet on the tour. And Kathleen, yes, Blazers do fly. McNamara back at it.
Oh, she showed that right quick. Made a believer out of me that Blazers can fly.
She's working that throttle, too.
Been flying for 4 years.
She's not afraid to get it up in the air, that's for sure.
Strong sounding 350 Chevrolet in this 85 Blazer.
Even up the big jump, you know she's going to fly through here.
She's aggressive. Truck banging. Not running well right at the end.
Oh, no, she flipped the cone there.
And she took out a cone.
34.71, and they're going to have to add a few seconds to it.
You know, Kathleen's happy about it, and she should be.
Well, she was actually quicker time-wise. They are going to add some seconds to it. Look at that suspension taking a
Only lady in competition and looks great. Oh, yes.
Well, here we go.
I keep wanting to see this thing come out with about 6 bales of straw on the back of it.
28.68 was what Rory Fisher ran in round number 1. He's shooting for the 27.98. Can he get it?
It'll be real difficult. I thought he was pretty much maxed out the first time around, but he's given his very, very best shot. Remember, Ralph, if he doesn't, his best of 2 times will stand for the evening. Big jump.
He's hooked up.
Into 23, now go. Come on, can he?
He did it. 27.87 by a tenth of a second. Rory Fisher has unseated Brozovic at the top of the heap.
No, Ralph, that didn't look that aggressive. Just a good, smooth run, hard throttle. Look at this. Nice pass. Tires are cut. Now he just gets the back end to break loose a little bit and come around, and right there, I think, where he did it. So the tires broke loose just a little bit. It's getting some loose marbles down there so they can break the back end of them loose.
You can really see how he had the wheel turned in the air. Do you think because he doesn't have a whole lot of weight in the rear bed that maybe that's why that truck broke loose better than the others? Let's go down to Fred to see what's going on with Rory. I know he's excited.
Yeah, Roy's very excited. Roy, you're in first place. Yeah, all right. I beat that Bronco. There's for Joe. How was the run? It was rough. It was real rough, but it was good enough, I guess. Of course, Joe ain't run yet, so back up to you, Ralph.
Well,
I think rough is an understatement.
Yeah, and you know Brozovic is pacing back and forth now. He's not strapped in already. He's got his work cut out in front of him, but so does this driver right here. This is John Youngblood.
Youngblood, truck laid down over the first hard jump on the curve.
Solid on it.
There it went away. Bus fires back up. For this time, it's all but destroyed.
Part of that could be because they don't want to put a ton of gas in there because they're only out for a short period of time. Want to keep the truck lightning as well in some areas. Just not picking up the fuel.
Look how much travel. See the wrinkle on the right front fender? Well, that's a lot of tire travel when he comes up and bumps them that hard. 42, not his favorite time.
No. Frustrating run for John. But that's what pro arena truck driving is all about. Try to go back, maybe yank this motor out, go to the salvage yard, find another one, and come back and go at it. Osceola, Iowa is where the driver of this tiger-painted machine comes from. It's known as the Evil Twin. See where the smoke is coming from? That is right underneath the cockpit of Ron George's machine, which is right where the engine sits. He literally can lean right over to the right and adjust the carburetor on this thing if he wants to.
Well, if anything happens to the motor, he'll be the first to know about it. Boy, he doesn't have a lot to lose as far as cosmetics on the truck.
No, but he's going to dig a lot of dirt before it's over here.
Well, these Fords are just showing that the undersides of them are maximum when it comes to strength.
It was a shovel in a former life.
Which wasn't too long ago.
30.56. Fun run, if nothing else, for old Ron George. And guess what? He picked up a 2nd and a 10th.
Well, he doesn't need fiberglass.
The orange helmet and goggles to match. Watch this thing just shovel up about 20 cubic yards of dirt.
He could be a backhoe operator.
It could. Well,
you gotta love it. Just gotta love it.
Here we go. Brozovic brings out the Bronco. 27.98, knocked down. He's going to have to pick up 0.2 of a second.
Can he do it, Ralph?
He's going to give it his all. Don't go too deep into that turn. He went in deep there. He might have lost some time right there. Look at him.
Oh, he doubled it. He's never seen it done before. The motorcycles just barely did it.
Unbelievable.
I still am amazed. Look at the time.
Going for it.
This guy's risen.
He did it. 25.80.
He ripped it.
Seconds.
Oh, is he happy?
Brozo picks up 2 full seconds and absolutely deflates Roy Fisher. Listen to this crowd.
Ralph, there was never even any discussion whether anyone could do the double. It just wasn't going to happen. All right, real hard. This is when you thought he got a little wide in the turn, and I did also. But this is where he makes it up. And can you believe this, Ralph? Makes the double.
Do you know what he did by going wide, Mike? He gave himself a longer launching pad to the double jump.
Nope. More speed going into that double. What a tremendous job. I can't believe that he did that.
Joe Brozovic. What an absolute animal. Brozo and the Bronco have done it again. Well, they are cheering here in Peoria for none other than Brozo and his Bronco. Joe Brozovic flew a Bronco farther than anybody, I think, has ever gone in a Ford Bronco. Absolutely amazing. He waited till the last run, and he did it, Fred.
That's right, Ralph. Not only a great run, but a real crowd pleaser with the double jump.
Oh, I got to catch my breath on that one. Woo! I tell you, Rory, I was in the back and seen he put down a good run. See what I mean about that guy? Just can't get away from him. And I knew I had to do something spectacular, and we're also doing it on live TV.
That's great. Joe Brozovic on top.
Unbelievable. The crowd absolutely loved him here. I mean, what an exciting, what a real guy, too, you know?
Oh, that's just, you know, middle America. He may have flown that Bronco further than Evel Knievel did at Snake River.
No doubt about that. Well, the only thing that's going to fly farther tonight, these guys, Samson and Equalizer, the first of our drag races in our monster trucks. This is the consolation race.
Being the consolation race, it is so important for the Equalizer to win this race.
Get those 40 points for finishing third. I think he can do it, too. He's got the better lane, and he's always got a good leading truck.
You know, it's just as important for Samson. He's sitting in second place after the first round with 50 points. One of these guys needs the points. Both of them need them bad. All four of these trucks are just so close that this drag racing is going to make all the difference in the world.
Well, Samson's got to be frustrated he didn't get the bye in the King of the Hill Award last week, losing that to Dragon Slayer, and he might not get it here.
It will be good. They're leaving with the light. Motors are way up. These guys really are intense. I think Samson's in a bad lane, though. That lane tore up earlier real bad when he left with it.
Oh, I think Samson got him. Samson got him, Mike. not what the Equalizer wanted to see.
Well, that's going to put the Equalizer with 90 points.
Here's a look at it.
Patrick picks the front end up, but boy, he leaves well. He's probably a foot and a half in front of the Equalizer. Now, Ralph.
Well, that takes some of the heat off of Bigfoot here.
But Equalizer and Samson both have 90 points.
Well, the key to this deal now is all in Bigfoot. Equalizer was probably going to get the advantage in a tiebreaker because he probably would have had the quicker time from the obstacle course. But if Bigfoot can win, he'll win this thing outright now. If the Giant wins, we are in a four-way tie. We will go to the obstacle course. Unbelievable. And that's quick time out of the obstacle course. The best ET from running the obstacle course is what would break the tie. If Bigfoot wins this, he wins it outright. He's king of the hill tonight. And gets a bye when we make our way to Indianapolis, the big Super Bowl to wrap up our Monster Truck Challenge, our 7-race series. And Ralph, he does it the hard way. Boy, Bigfoot came here looking to win King of the Hill and get that bye. If he can win this drag race against the Virginia Giant, 2 Fords going at it, Bigfoot will get that bye. So important when we make our way to Indianapolis. The Giant has a good shot of knocking him off, though, but he's got the lane that's not as good right now. Well, Ralph, during break, a few moments ago, they brought out a big Caterpillar, packed that down and worked that starting line just a little bit. That may be something that is really showing up now. There may be a little more traction over there than originally planned. Well, we can't count the Giant out because he did knock off the Equalizer, and we said going into this was a great leaving truck. Diehl Wilson's a good driver. He is quick on the line. It's Foot. That didn't take long. It's Foot. Bigfoot gets the win. Bigfoot will be crowned King of the Hill. They came here looking to do that, and they have accomplished their goal. It was a little bit tougher for them than they expected, but Bigfoot will get a bye at Indianapolis. Well, that's why you've got to perform well in both classes to win it. Bigfoot did well in the drag racing. It didn't do well in the obstacle course. That doesn't make any difference. What makes a difference is he's setting with 100 points. I'll tell you what, Bigfoot came out and won the drag racing in classic Bigfoot fashion. Here's a look at the way to Indy. The King of the Hill will stack up this way. Dan Runte, the Bigfoot, gets the win in our Monster Truck Challenge. Joe Brozovich, Brozo's Bronco, gets the win in the Pro Arena Trucks. What a great performance by Bigfoot here in the drag racing portion, putting away the Equalizer and then putting away the Virginia Giant. Let's take a shot out of Peoria and head back to Charlotte as we wrap things up here. We got a few more things for you, though, folks. We're not done here in Peoria. Randy, Katie, what'd you think of Bigfoot's performance here in Peoria?
Wow, the come from behind, but the star of the night has got to be Jumpin' Joe Brozovich.
Oh, man, what a ride.
No
It's a lot of excitement, a lot of mud slinging over there. We'll get back to it and give you a wrap right after this.
Shootout to decide it all. Dale Earnhardt.
Here comes Cope down on the inside. Earnhardt has problems.
Starting for the finish. And on the outside, it is car number 10, Derek Cope. Something amiss on the Earnhardt car. Coming to the line, it's Labonte pulling up, and an amazing finish. The Whitcomb Racing Team has won it.
Hey, be careful. Unbelievable.
Well, that's about the quickest 3 hours I ever spent sitting around. Motor Madness, big time with the truck bulls tonight, the truck challenge, and of course next week we'll bring you more action.
Had a blast. For Katie Haas and Randy Pemberton saying so long. See you next week.
Good night.
Dallas, next.